prices for drugs are almost 4 times what many other wealthy nations pay. For many decades, the pharmaceutical business has been near or at the top of the list in terms of profit. Big Pharma has been exposed to be testing dangerous drugs on impoverished Africans, suppressing information about their deadly side effects, and murdering whistleblowers. While drug companies assert that a variety of new medications have significantly impacted health and well-being, many people hold the opinion that Big Pharma is a corrupt form of capitalism. Some describe the industry as a marketing machine to sell drugs of dubious benefit, which uses its wealth and power to bribe every institution that might stand in its way. The current backlash against Big Pharma is partially a result of the way a select few medications have been overused and overpromoted. Drug companies have attempted to broaden the market for some of their products in an effort to boost sales, by enticing patients to believe they are ill and doctors to treat them with newly developed, pricey medications. Techniques like astroturfing, or the creation of fabricated grassroots advocacy organizations by drug company PR specialists, frequently starring celebrities, have contributed to the popularization of new disorders and the rise in demand for treatments. Critics claim that rather than creating new products, the major pharmaceutical companies have focused on Me Too imitations and a variety of protectionist tactics for maintaining rights on already existing goods. There's also a debate that the number of effective new drugs entering the market has decreased to a trickle over the past 20 years, as Big Pharma earnings have soared. In 2003, the US federal government promised to pay for prescription costs for people over 65 by paying $400 billion to the pharmaceutical industry. This, for Big Pharma, not only provided a guaranteed market but also allowed the industry to establish its own prices by not allowing the government to bargain. How does Big Pharma make so much money? Starting with profit and not need. One of the most serious issues with the system that prioritizes profits over needs is that research and development financing is directed towards products that will generate the most money for pharmaceutical companies. Another point is monopoly on drugs. Pharmaceutical firms have licenses on new medicine that guarantee their intellectual property rights. This means that no one else can produce a drug without their permission for the period of the license, which is typically 20 years in most countries. Licenses grant pharmaceutical companies legal monopolies on specific drugs, allowing them to set high prices and earn large profits because no other company can undercut them. So how do supporters of the pharmaceutical industry justify a system that denies affordable drugs to billions of people? The argument is that this is the only method to cover the cost of new drug research and development. Pharma spends more on lobbying than any other business in the United States, which has the world's highest drug prices. Pharma companies and industry groups have spent $4.45 billion on lobbying US politicians over the last 22 years, nearly twice the amount spent by the next highest spending sector, insurance. According to Open Secrets, the industry employs more than 1,450 lobbyists, 65% of whom are former government employees. Why are insulin prices soaring in the US? More than 1 million people have type 1 diabetes, a disease in which the body cannot produce insulin. Only 1 in every 45 diabetics in the US have admitted to using insulin rationing. The 4 most common kinds of insulin have tripled in price in the last 10 years, and patients now pay twice as much for their prescriptions. Separate price negotiations between pharmaceutical firms and numerous private insurance takes place all over the country. Medicare, the federal health program for people over 50, which is also the biggest purchaser of drugs in the country, is not permitted to bargain for lower drug costs. That gives pharma more leverage and leads to this kind of price surges. Big Pharma can continue to profit from this culture of corruption, using friends in the administration and in Congress to increase their profit margins while ordinary people suffer. It continues to reap government benefits as Americans struggle to determine whether to pay for rent or medicine. Reducing medication prices and the cost that ordinary people must bear is impossible without first mending Washington's broken system.